Today I'm going to be talking about a memory that has changed my life in more ways than one. Whenever I ask my parents and grandparents what their experience was like in middle school, they always say that they can't remember much of it, but it's the total opposite for me. During middle school, I was able to learn so much about myself, and it was both exciting and nerve-wracking because it was a new school and I had to make new friends. But it was exciting because I started a whole new journey in my life without really knowing it at the time. On the first day of middle school, I didn't know what a bell schedule was, how to open my locker, or even where to find my classes. I was basically a mess my first day, but I was able to do one thing successfully, and that was make a friend, and she later became my best friend throughout middle school. During 6th grade, we had many exciting projects, such as our project about China, where we did research about the history of the country and later brought in Chinese food, and turned our whole classroom into a buffet. Throughout the whole day, classes would come in and out and watch our classes' presentations and be sent back to class bellies full. There was also a really fun medieval fair project where my group was assigned to research about ancient Greece. On the day of the fair, the whole 6th grade had set out tables on our grass field, and they had brought in food and prizes for the games we were told to create for our booths. Overall, 6th grade was the year when everyone got used to, well, everything that came with middle school, and made the friends that they were going to hang out with for basically the rest of our time there. Now on to 7th grade. 7th grade was probably the most hectic year for our class in the social aspect. Constantly, people would bring up events from the past and anger someone, which would always spark drama between people in class. Whenever someone got into an argument, their whole friend group would be there to back them up, and vice versa. When one of my friends got into an argument, my friend Danielle was always the investigator slash detective. She knew the whole story, so if you needed any information, you would always go to her. My best friend Jocelyn usually was more involved than I was, but I always observed and gave my opinion whenever someone needed it or whenever it felt right. My friends Jalen, Max, and Iggy always made light of the situation and made everyone laugh, unless the situation was truly serious. All of that being said, we all had each other's backs no matter what situation we were in. Now, through all the anger and hate that was going on between people, I was able to learn so much from my friends, and it was a great year for friendship growth for me. Every day became a really great day, and I really did enjoy going to school. Now, unfortunately, 7th grade did have a pretty sad end due to lots of broken friendships and a few people from our class leaving the school. This started off our last year together in an awkward start. Now on to 8th grade. That was probably my most favorite year in middle school. Now, as I mentioned before, 8th grade had a pretty awkward start, and due to what had happened in 7th grade and during the summer, my friends and I weren't always seeing eye to eye in the beginning of the year. Now, this wasn't something that we couldn't move past, and throughout the year progressed, my friends and I made a routine for lunch. Whoever got out of class the fastest was able to go and reserve a table at our rose garden, and whoever needed to buy lunch would go and get it, and once everyone was there at the table, we would spark up really deep or super random conversations that would always end up in a great lunch. I was really enjoying coming to school, and I enjoyed it because of my awesome friends and my great teachers that I also ended up becoming close with as well. Now, all of this being said, you could probably imagine how devastated I was when it was announced that schools were going to be closing. At first, it was said that it was going to be 2 weeks of extra spring break, which everyone was super excited about. But as everyone can clearly see, that was not the case. Now, at this point in my speech, you're probably wondering what exactly that favorite memory of mine was. Well, that memory was my 8th grade culmination. It was nothing that I had imagined before, that's what I can say. On the day of my culmination, I can say that for all my 8th grade class, everyone imagined that we would be having grand night at Six Flags and walking across the stage to get our diplomas that showed all of the hard work that we had put in these past 3 years. But instead, we had a car parade in our teacher's parking lot, which was also just as memorable. When my family and I entered the parking lot, all my teachers started cheering and congratulating me for a job well done. Now, although I wasn't able to see any of my friends and say goodbye to them, that was the last day that I was able to see my teachers. It was really emotional that day because it was hard for me to accept that it was officially over for me. Middle school was officially done, and I wasn't going to be going back. By going through this, I have learned, even more so, that you really need to cherish the time you spend with the people you love, and that nothing lasts forever. Life goes on in a blink of an eye, but it's who we surround ourselves with that really affects how our lives are going. If we surround ourselves with people that are a bad influence on us, it won't be a happy life. If we surround ourselves with people that are constantly laughing and making light of everything around us and showing you what grace there is in the world, your life is going to be filled with so much more happiness. And hopefully now, by learning all of my teacher's lessons, the weird moments that I had with my friends, and going through all those amazing happy memories, when my children and grandchildren ask me in the future the same question that I asked my parents and grandparents today, I can for sure tell them that middle school was a magical experience for me and that I wouldn't have changed my experience for the world. Thank you.